I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, anyway. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing an updated eyebrow tutorial, my lights keep changing. An updated eyebrow tutorial, oh my god, I'm so sorry about the lighting. An updated eyebrow tutorial, basically, because I've been doing like quite a chunky dip brow pomade kind of brow for years and it's not changed, and I have now changed my routine for a little bit of a softer look. And it is the brows that you see now. Stunting. So if you want to see how I achieve brows like this, then go ahead and keep watching. Mwah. Okay, so there is a reason why I'm starting with a completely bare face. And it is because I like to start with my foundation and then brows, and there is a reason for that. Whilst I explain to you the reason, I'm going to actually start doing it. So I'm going to be using my IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation. I'm in the process of still trying to work out exactly what my shade is right now, so I'm doing a little bit of a interesting mix, so I'm not too sure about shades, so sorry if that's a bit annoying, but I'm basically just going to mix it, although actually that's too dark. Okay, I'm going to mix it on the back of my hand anyway, and then I'm basically just going to put it all over. I've already like primed my skin and moisturized and all of that good stuff, so I'm basically just going to go all over. I find that when I do my foundation after, the little bit in between my brows over here always looks like it needs some kind of coverage in terms of like if the colouring doesn't completely match the rest of my face because that's like my natural skin or whatever it is, it just never really looks right. And when I try to do it after and put the foundation afterwards, it looks like I've done like felt tip brows. It doesn't give me that gradient because you kind of like mess it up. I would have spent so much time perfecting my brows to make sure that I've got a nice gradient because I like the sort of gradient brow look. And then when you go in with foundation afterwards and try to get it down in the middle, you sort of remove all of the work that you've done before. So that's the reason why I always make sure I go in with my foundation first. And I feel like when I don't explain that, people are always so confused by my order. They're like, why do you do foundation, then brows, then eyes, then the rest of your face? And that's basically my reason. So I'm not gonna like powder or anything now. I'm just gonna basically go straight into my brows, and then I'll just powder once I do the rest of my face later. Now, for my brows, I've been trying to do them a little bit more natural, but I do find it difficult because I have such naturally dense brows. So what I've been using lately is the Makeup Revolution. What is this called? It just says Makeup Revolution. That's not helpful. Dark brown brow pencil. Okay, that's literally all it says. It looks like this. It's very skinny. On one end, you have like the twisty pencil, so you don't need to sharpen it, you just twist it. And the other end, you've got a spoolie. So what I like about this is it's really, really fine. To be honest, you don't necessarily have to use this one. You can use Anastasia Brow Wiz. You can use, I know there's an Urban Decay one, which is similar. There's a NYX one. This is just the one I'm using at the moment. And also, I just don't really feel the need to spend a lot on like a brow pencil because I feel like most of them do the trick. So you want something which is kind of chalky in texture and has a fine point so that you've got precision. So I take the spoolie and first I just brush my brows in the right direction because then you can analyse what your brows naturally look like, so you can decide where areas are a little bit sparse, where you want to sort of bulk them up. So what I'm going to do is just open up a mini mirror so I've got a better view. Now what I'm going to start by doing is, to be honest, you need to assess it based on the shape of your brows and where your sparse areas are. For me, it's mainly the tail part of the brow, I like to just like sort of thicken up the top a little bit, so the brow goes sort of like parallel, the same thickness at the top, and then trails out. So I just like to perfect kind of like the top corner, like this part of the brows, and I don't really touch that much anywhere else to start with. So I find the point around halfway through the brow, and with a very, very light hand, which is key. You don't want to go in too heavy, because if you go in too heavy, removing it is like near to impossible, but you can always add more product if you feel like you want it heavier. So just with a light hand, sort of feathery motions. See, that already has made such a big difference. And then connect it at the tail. If you want to extend the tail, you can. It's not really my vibe to have a long tail. I just want the shape to be a little bit more filled out. So you can see I've changed the shape of my brow. And don't worry about it being too neat, because we're going to clean it up afterwards. So that's literally all I'm going to do on that brow to start with. Then I'm just going to do the same on the other side, make them look as similar as possible, which we all know is like the biggest struggle of life. Not to be dramatic. So now we have something like this. Now, this bit is optional. I've been doing this lately, especially if I overpluck the middle, which I do accidentally sometimes do. And this is, I feel like, something that makes a really, really big difference, and which is why you need a very fine point. So what I do is I draw in a couple of extra hairs at the front, just because I want the fade to look a little bit more gradual, which is difficult when you have naturally dense brows because it looks quite thick throughout. So what I do is I just do a couple of quick strokes like that, again with a very light hand, literally just like that, as lightly as I can. Yeah, it looks a bit crazy right now, like it looks like close to a unibrow, but it's not. And then I kind of leave that there, and to be honest, I don't really pick up the pencil again after I've done that, unless anything sort of goes wrong, then I just go in with damage control. But basically, you want to leave that bit there. Now it's time to clean up, and this is when it starts to look a whole lot better. So I'm going to take my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is my favourite concealer to use. You want something thick, but also not overly thick where throughout the day it tends to look cakey around the brows, or like there's too much product, because that can happen. So I'm going to take that, and I'm using the shade Natural Beige, and I'm taking this flat brush. It's like a standard concealer brush, but it's kind of like a mini one, so I have a little bit more precision, which we like. And I'm just going to take some product on the tip, and what I'm going to do is line the underneath all the way from before where my brow starts to after it ends. And it's just going to clean it up and give us like a nice clean edge. So it should look something like that. And then I go and do the same on the other brow. And now I'm going to go and do the same thing on the top. So when I do the top, I don't look at the tail to start with. I just do this in like a straight line parallel to the bottom of the brow. Does that make sense? And you just want to just extend it. It's an easier motion to do, and it helps to make it more precise without sort of messing up. So just go closer and closer each time until you get the right thickness. And you want to make it as clean as you can. There we go, like that. And then I will do the same on the other side. And then I like to curve it around the tail. So I sort of continue where I stopped it and curve it around just to do the tail end of the brow. And it gets just way more manageable to get the shape right when you sort of section it off into those parts. Then, if at any point you feel like you've gone over the brow too much with concealer, you can either use the spoolie to brush it out, or you can go in with the pencil end and just sort of perfect the edge if you sort of messed it up a little bit. Like that. Okay, then I just take whatever is left on the brush and I just take a little bit down the center. And then I just fade it out and take just like a random concealer brush, to be honest. So this is just a Real Techniques one. And I'm just going to buff it out and blend the concealer into the foundation. This is also why you want to make sure you don't powder before you do your brows, because then you're going to be trying to blend this out, but you would have already powdered, so it's not going to melt in as easily. Make sure it's all seamlessly blended. And then if I need to, I will fade in the center a little bit more. So I'll just take this and diffuse the middle. So it's not so harsh. And now, finally, the last step. I take my NYX brow glue, which is this really, really cute little brow gel. And it's really like sticky, which I like because I feel like it just really holds my brows in place. I'm going to sneeze. Okay, anyway, I take this and I basically brush my brows in the direction I want them to stay. It just sort of neatens them and helps to sort of blend the difference between the brow pencil and my actual brows. It just merges that difference a little bit better. And we have something like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sort of dry and I'm going to do the rest of my face, and then I will come back and you can see how the brows look with the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look with all the makeup etc done. So you can see how the brows look now with the rest of the face. But I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to see more videos with specific tutorials in more depth rather than just like full face tutorials, then let me know what you want to see and I will definitely get on it for you. But thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Stay positive, stay safe, stay smiling, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye guys.